Hey there all you music lovers and welcome to Soundtree Live. I'm your host Mr. B and this is Season 2, Episode 3. Tonight on the show we've got folk duo Henk and Rex. We're also going to be featuring a music video from John Michaels and The Usual. And don't forget you can hit SoundtreeProductions.com if you want to find out about being on the show or getting your music on. You can also find out about all the stuff we do here at Soundtree. Now next week it's Young Rockers RPM are in the studio. These guys are in the regional finals of the Rock Quest and you'll see why. And it's also the return of Dorcas McManus who will be doing our interview tonight. So I'll leave you with John Michaels and The Usual, followed by Henk and Rex. It's Mr. B signing out.
God is not American.
God don't come from the Midwest or anywhere else in the Bible Belt. God dwells in the manhood and he pumps the blood of life. We're all individuals and equal inside. And God is not American. God is not American. He's not even a Republican. God is not American. You take God's word, you dress it up white. Blonde hair, blue eyes, they beam through your satellite. I don't mean to be picky, but if what you preach is true, Jesus was a white man and my skin is turning blue. And God is not American. God is not American. He got his own master plan. God is not American. Side, trying to kill the devil when the devil is their pride. All this death and destruction, how about some prayer? We meant to bless our enemies, not send troops over there. And God is not American. God is not American. He loves the Taliban. God is not American. The suit, the tie, uplifted hair. Give me a break. God don't, he don't live there. It's time to turn the tables and throw the money lenders out. Get back to basics of what Christ is all about. And God is not American, American. God is not American, American. God is not American, American. God is not American, yeah. The Son of Man is not American.
This is Henk on the bass and I'm Rex, and we've been practicing lots and lots of songs and getting them all right so we knew them without any music or anything like that. And then we called Shane and we gathered that we couldn't do most of the ones we wanted because they weren't out of copyright. So this is one that we've managed to rescue because it was done in 1928 and so it's well into the public domain now, and it's called Making Whoopee. Another bride, another groom, another sunny honeymoon, another reason, another season for making whoopee. A lot of shoes, a lot of rice, the groom is nervous, he answers twice. It's really killing that he's so willing to make whoopee. Picture a little love nest down where the roses cling. Picture that same sweet love nest and think what a year can bring. He's washing dishes and baby clothes. He's so ambitious, he even sews. But don't forget, folks, that's what you get, folks, for making whoopee. Another year, or maybe less. What's this I hear? Well, can't you guess? She feels neglected, that he's suspected of making whoopee. She sits alone most every night. He doesn't phone her, he doesn't write. He says he's busy, and she says, is he? He's making whoopee. He doesn't make much money, only 5,000 per. Some judge who thinks he's funny says you'll pay 6 to her. He says, now judge, suppose I fail. The judge says, budge, right into jail. You better keep her, I think it's cheaper than making whoopee. You'd better keep her, I think it's cheaper than making whoopee. The next one is a song I wrote for the Caddy Caddy Murals competition. The folk club in Caddy Caddy ran a competition for the song relating to the mural. And that's the one I chose. It's called Overload. It's regarding a service car, which was the old form of sort of luxury limo taxi that went from one town to another in about the 1920s. And Les Hume used to apparently run this car, and it's had seats for 8, and in the end he fitted 21 on board, which is what you see on the mural there. So anyway, this is it. In the days when cars were rare, causing folks to stand and stare, the service cars had great renown. They're moving folks from town to town. Clever turn a rider down, somehow they get you there. Well, there was Grandma Fogarty, old Mrs. Doherty, Sarah Jane and Mary Lou. Sitting in the back was the Reverend MacDonald, off to preach a sermon or two. There were 4 on the hood, 4 on the running boards, and 2 on the mudguards too. And sitting on the bonnet was Charlie Boy from Athenry, calling the directions through. Les Hume had a service car, and he was really quite a star. His car had only seats for 8, but he would never make folks wait. Even though it made him late, he'd get them on somehow. Well, there was Grandma Fogarty, old Mrs. Doherty, Sarah Jane and Mary Lou. Sitting in the back was the Reverend MacDonald, off to preach a sermon or 2. There were 4 on the hood, 4 on the running boards, and 2 on the mudguards too. And sitting on the bonnet was Charlie Boy from Athenry, calling the directions through. He started out from Caddycat with 10, and legend says that then, when he got to the turn for Athenry, there were people wanting to go to Waihi. He hated to disappoint, so you see, he crammed them all on board. Well, there was Grandma Fogarty, old Mrs. Doherty, Sarah Jane and Mary Lou. Sitting in the back was the Reverend MacDonald, off to preach a sermon or 2. There were 4 on the hood, and 4 on the running boards, and 2 on the mudguards too. And sitting on the bonnet was Charlie Boy from Athenry, calling the directions through. If you didn't sit inside the car, you had to hang on like a bird. But the fare was cheap, 'cause when the hills got steep, or it rained a lot and the mud was deep, you had to get off and earn your keep by pushing the car on through. Well, there was Grandma Fogarty, old Mrs. Doherty, Sarah Jane and Mary Lou. Sitting in the back was the Reverend MacDonald, off to preach a sermon or two. There were 4 on the hood and 4 on the running boards and 2 on the mudguards too. And sitting on the bonnet was Charlie Boy from Athenry, calling the directions through. Today most folks have a car and they drive it near and far. They don't think about the fuel they burn. Oh, will their grandkids have their turn? The ancient sunlight that they burn is warming up the earth. But there was Grandma Fogarty, old Mrs. Doherty, Sarah Jane and Mary Lou. Sitting in the back was the Reverend MacDonald, off to preach a sermon or two. There were 4 on the hood and 4 on the running boards and 2 on the mudguards too. And sitting on the bonnet was Charlie Boy from Athenry, calling the directions through. Yes, sitting on the bonnet was Charlie Boy from Athenry, calling the directions through. The ultimate in carpooling, really. A song I wrote. I was lucky enough to be able to go to Bermuda quite a few times because I used to fly for a living. So I had some very good friends in Bermuda, and they suggested I go on this walk up to a place called Wreck Hill, which is where the locals used to build fires to lure sailing boats onto the reefs and then collect all the cargo and kill the survivors and so on. So it's a pretty nasty place in some ways, but it's absolutely stunningly beautiful on a nice day. You're up on the hill looking down over the water, and it's lovely. So anyway, I wrote this song there. On the edge of the island, looking down at the clear blue sea, sitting here in the sunshine, I wish you were here with me. Far below on the ocean, the boats they come and go, but I sit here alone and think of you. Sitting here on the hilltop, you can reach out and touch the peace. Butterflies all around me, and the hum of the murmuring bees. Will the light that I see now be a beacon for my soul, or a fire from the wreckers to dash me on life's reefs? Tiny island Bermuda, but you still have the space to breathe. And I wish I could stay here, but I know that I have to leave. But I'll be back soon, and I don't care if it rains, 'cause the sun shines from the hearts of everybody here. The next one I wrote as a sort of antithesis to all the codependent love songs that are around the place. So everybody's got to stay together and sort of never change and sort of just be there. And if not, everybody gets very jealous and sort of, I don't know. Anyway, this is about unconditional love, basically.
Be forever free.
Yes, thank you, I will be. We say I love you. What we really mean is I want that you be around. We say I love you. What we really mean is I want you to be mine. But when I say I love you, what I really mean, I want you to be happy, I want you to be free, whether or not you are with me. So many love songs throughout the ages, and all really say the same tune. Be with me, be mine, let's stay like this forever. Never learn, never grow, never change. This song's for you, my love, it sings a different tune. Never mind, forever with me, be forever free. This song's for you, my love, it sings a different tune. Never mind, forever with me, be forever free, and still be loved by me. I used to be lucky enough to live half the year in France and half the year in Cyprus. Now, I'm really lucky because I live in New Zealand all the time. But anyway, I had some dogs in France, and so I had to get a house sitter. And I was lucky enough to get a girlfriend to house sit when I was in France. And so I wrote this when I was in Cyprus and missing her. And it was raining at the time, so this is called Love Song in the Rain. Rain lashing down on my window pane, thunder crashing above. I am safe in my island retreat, but I miss the one that I love. I miss you to hold me tight, I miss you to care, I miss you to talk with at night, and I miss you everywhere. I love to spend this time on my own. I love the freedom and peace. I love to read and make new friends, but our loving does not cease. Yes, my love will never cease. I miss you to hold me tight, I miss you to care, I miss you to be live in the moment is all we should do. Past or future shouldn't exist. And still I recall our walks on the cliff, looking down on the valley in mist, on the swirling valley in mist. I miss you to hold me tight, I miss you to care, I miss you to talk with at night, and I miss you everywhere. These months alone, we're not really apart. Email's a wonderful thing. Soon I'll be back to hold you again, as we share the joy of the spring, as we laugh and laugh in the spring. I'll be there to hold you tight, I'll be there to care, I'll be there to talk all the night, and I'll see you everywhere. Yes, I'll see you everywhere. Now the next one, I think it was in March of this year, David Shannon and Simon Squires? No. I can't remember his name. Anyway, they did a really good gig together in the Caddy Caddy Folk Club on the Friday, and then on the Saturday they did a songwriting workshop. And so Henk and I went along, and Henk won't play his at the moment, but he's shy. But this is the one I wrote because, as I said before, I used to be a pilot, and I just love flying. And this is about the joy of flying, but it's also related in some ways to the joy of being in love as well. Come fly with me to the castles in the sky, to the freedom we can find when we get high. We can leave the earth behind and all the ties that bind. Let us glory in our passion as we fly. Let us glory in our passion as we fly. Fly with me, let your chains fall away. Fly with me, come live for today. Fly with me. Let us fly above the gritty city streets, to the place above where joy and heaven meet. We can find a new rebirth when we slip the bonds of earth. We can soar and swoop and dance just like the birds. We can soar and swoop and dance just like the birds. Fly with me, let your chains fall away. Fly with me, come live for today. Fly with me. We can soar up in the blue on our love and freedom wings, and forget our cares and other earthly things. There is freedom as we fly in a dance around the sky. We're alive today, who cares what morning brings? we're alive today, who cares what morning brings? Fly with me, let your chains fall away. Fly with me, come live for today. Fly with me. This next one's a very tongue-in-cheek type song, which men will probably identify with and women hate, but never mind, we'll do it anyway. I got lots of nasty comments the other night when I did it. Guys, it makes me sad, but if you're honest with a girl, she thinks you're some kind of cat. Oh man, I've given up hope. If you tell them the truth, they don't know how to cope. Girls, I've been told by one that knows, don't like complicated men, they want committed bows. But me, I love the whole female race. I love to cuddle and talk, but also keep my own space. If you want a girl, just swear that you'll be true. Don't say there's other girls, just say there's only you. They may be pretty lies, it's what it takes to woo. They'll say you led them on, but what's a guy to do? I love, I don't want to get wet, I want to cherish you tonight, so let's go to bed. I love to kiss, to feel your lips touching mine. It's such a sensuous thing, I'm on cloud nine. I get my thrill when I hold a girl tight, and I'm entwined in her arms all through the night. If you want a girl, just swear that you'll be true. Don't say there's other girls, just say there's only you. They may be pretty lies, it's what it takes to woo. They'll say you led them on, but what's a guy to do? I love your looks, I love your voice, I love everything about you. Girl, I have no choice. So live for today, don't you worry what tomorrow may bring. Just forget yourself and love me tonight, and we can make our hearts sing.
Okay, good evening and welcome back to Soundtree Live. As you may have heard earlier, the ukulele phenomenon has hit Tauranga too. Our special guests tonight are Rex and Henk. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome. Now, how long have you guys been sort of playing the ukuleles?
Individually, I probably started about 6 or 7 years ago. I was living in Hamilton, and I played with the core group of the Big Muffin Serious Band in Te Pahu.
Right.
And I've moved to the Western Bay of Plenty about 2 years ago, and since then I've been part of one ukulele group that Rex was in as well. So that's.
So when did you switch over to the bass ukulele? I mean,
well, 18 months ago I was in Wellington and I saw this in the Cuba Street music shop.
You just had to have it.
And I had to have it. Anyway, I didn't buy it right away, but I did buy it off the internet within probably 2 days.
Right, yeah, so it didn't take long. It was window shopping one day and then straight into getting it. And what about you, Rex? How long have you been strumming on the
playing
uke?
it for about just over a year now.
Oh, just over a year?
I started the Caddy Caddy ukulele group, played at the Folk Club.
Right.
And Christine was looking for a guitar to back them up. And so I just went along as guitar backing, but they were obviously having far too much fun, so I got a ukulele and joined in fairly shortly.
Wow, that's amazing. So, well, that leads me on to a question that I will find even more interesting now. The answer is, if it's only been a year, now you did, 5 originals tonight?
Yeah.
And we were discussing it in the room, me and Shane, and, hey, these are really good songs. So have you just started writing, or had you written those on piano or guitar?
No, I've been playing the guitar for quite a long time.
So you songs that are older, you've just put them onto the ukulele field, and because they seem to work quite nicely.
That Overload song I actually wrote for the ukulele, because that was only written last year.
Oh, brilliant! And
but the other ones I'd written for the guitar, so that's why I played them on the guitar, because they sound better.
Right.
I think it's a fuller sound for some things.
But that's what I say. I think they came across really nicely on the ukes, and you with your beautiful Pete Seeger voice there when you hit those nice Pete Seeger notes, they call them. That was great. Now, before we go any further, we're going to throw you straight into the deep end before any other questions. We'll start with you, Henk. Desert Island. You're staying there for the rest of your life. No one else around. You have food, shelter, everything else. You get to take 5 albums with you. What do you take? Don't you love it, people, when you get that silence?
That's really interesting talking about albums, because I'm not actually a great collector of music in that sense.
Right.
I listen to jazz because I've played a lot of jazz on drums, and I like country music, Johnny Cash. I play the drums in the Paro Country Music Club, so I like that style. But I haven't answered your question.
No, I'm still waiting.
I don't even know the names of the albums, man.
So it'd be more like compilations of stuff that you would like or something. Yeah. Well, let's move over to Rex and see if he can do any better.
Well, one of my big influences on the guitar is Ralph McTell, so I'd have to have at least one of his albums.
Yes.
And also, I think probably, are we allowed double albums
yes.
as well?
Yeah,
right,
that
so
falls under the...
I'd have the Pentangle at the Royal Albert Hall, because they're a fantastic group, I think.
Right.
But I'd also, I think I'd probably take the Messiah, some nice version of the Messiah, so I can sort of sing along with it on my desert island.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to have a bit of... You think you're there for a long, long time, so you want a broader sort of style of music.
I love jazz, so I'd have a Miles Davis compilation, I think.
Oh, of course.
And, that leaves me one more, doesn't it?
It does.
That's difficult. Well, I think it would have to be one of the Beatles, the best, the sort of best-selling...
One of those best of the Beatles and so forth. Brilliant. That's good to know that... you might be able to hop over to his island when you sort of run out of your album. Could you loan me an album, mate? Now, you guys gigging a lot? I mean, is there sort of work out there for the?
Not yet.
Not yet.
We're sort of.
We've only really started at the beginning of this year to work as a duo,
right?
And particularly to work towards playing in restaurants and doing sort of background music gigs. We also thought it would be nice to play at some rest homes, because we play older style music and we have a whole range of instruments. We didn't feature half of what we've actually got. I play a 6-string banjo, and we have soprano resonator ukuleles, we have tenor ukuleles, and we both play guitar. I have a beautiful jazz guitar, so we could play.
You do that mish and mash thing, definitely.
Yeah, that would, and it would be interesting for the people watching.
I think so too. Well, how would people get hold of you? I guess you're not on Facebook or any of these. Love the laughter. What's Facebook? But is there any way, say people are watching this show tonight and they go, we wouldn't mind these fellas coming in and playing some tunes for us. What's a good way of getting hold of you then?
Well, I live at Tennis Point, Hoogland, Hoogland, the only one in the phone book.
Right. But
Right.
we could maybe later when they do the thing, they could put our email address for the band or something like that, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
people can,
I've
just
got a card I can give you. So
that'll be great too. Now, what about Kiwi music? Do you have any favourites from Aotearoa that you like or have listened to over the years?
Well, I have to say, it's corny, but I love Pokare Kareana. I think it's a fabulous
Wow,
song.
yes. I remember that when I was yay high. So.
But I've only been in New Zealand, I guess it's nearly 4 years now. But so I
Right.
don't really know that much Kiwi music.
It does
to be
take a
honest.
while to sort of sift into the psyche, and I noticed when I came back in '87, it took me sort of 2 or 3 years to figure out who was who and what was going on
Some
in
of
the
the
world.
people that come around the folk club are really good, though, aren't they?
You would have had Shona Lang over there and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and
Yeah.
she's one of our great voices of New Zealand
And for me,
singer-songwriters.
like you're talking about albums, I actually have all the albums of the Big Serious Muffin Band. They're based in Te Pahu, and Jim Felton is an amazing ukulele player. They've put out 4 albums, and I've got all those albums.
So you've probably taken those to the island with you too, sort of
Yes,
sneaking in the
right.
back pocket, so
Yes,
you
they
have more than 5. Well, hey, it's so great to have you guys on the show. Thank you, Rex.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hank.
Thank you.
And all the best for the future. And we hope to see more of you guys out there. And this is Dork with McManus signing off. Adios.